Good afternoon, Patriots. I see a lot of people here already. Um, I'd, I'm happy to welcome Michael Jaco, and thank you so much for having me on your channel and basically having your numbers fantastic. Almost 90,000 views on his channel of my video, 30,000 more views than you know whom, my former protege. There we go. And then we have our sponsor, keto with CW.com. If you want to lose 5 pounds really fast and you want to not have to really diet, but just lose the weight, here we go. This is keto with CW.com. We have so much information for you. It's like spelling out. Anyway, so keto with CW.com, it's 51% off, and it's got the caprylic acid in it that kind of, you can eat anything you want and you won't have bad breath. It's a carb blocker, and it does have the caprylic acid in it that basically, yeah, it's gets rid of the whatchamacallit, the candida that holds onto the fat. Okay, there we go. So there we are. Yes, again, thank you for the almost 90,000 views in a few days on Michael Jaco's video. 30,000 more than you know whom's, my former proteges. The guest thing is, someone just, hold on one second. Someone just thinged me. Okay, hold on. Okay. Someone just, let me, hold on one second. That's Dave Lipsky. Okay, I need to do a thing for my friend Dave Lipsky from ourfreedombook.com. I'm on his ourfreedombook.com. You can come there. Dave's a good friend. And yeah, I don't know. I'm going to promote it anyway. I mean, how many platforms can I be on? It's a little crazy. Okay, so here we go. Here's our freedombook.com. Dave, here, I told you I'll do it for you. Here, you can come and request me, 167 friends, and there I am. Okay. All right, so we're still waiting for the boys, and wow. We have a lot of people on here. Must be Scots. This time, Scots people, I will promise that I'm going to zip it, zip it, zip it, zip it. So you can hear the boys talk, but I'm really the one that has most of the intel today. So really, you know, I mean, that's where you need to understand what's going on. So I'm going to read a line, and then I'm going to wait for them to come on. And yeah, I don't know where they are at, but they both got the links, so I don't know what happened. But hopefully I can give you some intel before they come on. Okay? All right, so we don't need to go to Creator Studio. We just need to get to this. Okay, here we go. All right, so there we go. I am trying to get to this, but I can't get to it. Let me try to get to this. Facebook. Okay, I'm trying to get to the Facebook links, and I'm on Facebook at with an extra the. I don't know why there's an extra the there, but thetruecw.com. And yeah, I finally got on. Oh, finally. I'm going to read this to you if I can get Facebook to work. Okay. And it's screwing with me, as we know. Okay, now I'm going to scroll down on Facebook, and we're going to see what's going on. I'm going to blow that up. All right, so I don't know what exact time it is. Let me look at the time here. 11:51. So they're all right. Okay. Hi, Dave. I just did your ad, okay? Okay. All right. So we are a few minutes early, And everyone's already, so many people already here. Okay, let me read my intel before the boys get here. Anyway, I'm just going to text him back. Done. Okay. All right. So we have a lot of things that are happening. We have Mike Lindell that's starting a new thing, and I hope to get on there next week, I guess. And I think it's the 19th. It's called Frank. So try to get on Frank. How many platforms can one person be on? It's just really, really crazy how many platforms one person can be on. It's really, really, really. Okay. So I think my clock is off by a long shot. My phone says 11:53. My clock says 11 on my computer says 11:20. What's going on? What happened? It's off. So the time is wrong. I don't know where this time is, but it's definitely not Eastern Standard Time. So, okay, let's see who's here. Are these all my peeps? It can't be all my peeps. Let's go down. Teresa Lozo, Susan, Strike M, Lisa Ash, Patriot Mom, Brittany Holder, Penny Stewart, Victoria Cruz. It's all girls. Where's the boys? Deb Kirby, Susie Dixon, Susan Cole. Please join this channel. Subscribe and join it. Also from Facebook, I think the Facebookers are not on yet. Patricia Boyles, Penny Jean, Marita, Christy Ashmore, Anna Wethrow, Patricia Boyles. Yeah, all of this. Oh, Anna Withrow, Michael Oster. Yeah. Susan Dixon, yes, the whole gang. Sherry West, Baraka Eve, Smoky Mountain Woman, Amazon Desk, Christy Ashmore. Okay, blessings. Debbie Cruz, Fran Vestal, Lorna Beebe, Terry. See some Facebookers: Lorna Beebe, Jean Pupek, Terry H. Gator, Florida. I guess you're from Florida. Oh, I need to thank Miss Mud Rabbit. Thank you for the beautiful artwork. I put it in my bathroom. Thank you so much. I love it. And again, Sherry West, Robert Woozy, Candace. Oh, this is the farewell little tour for my friend Scott McKay, Patriot Street Fighter, because he is going on to talk and a tour. So Bonnie Marsh, Kimmy Clothing, Karen Meredith, on and on and on and on and on. Good morning, Carolyn Shaw, Phyllis. Where is it? Mud Rabbit, thank you for your gift. I got it. It's very pretty. Canadian Street Fighter, Carol Loper, Debbie Kill. What is it? Debbie Hukill, Terry Snare, Christine. How are you, Christine? One of my moderators is here. Hop Girl, Charlene Graham. There's a lot of people coming today. Mud Rabbit, Catherine Newman, Sherry West, Jack Harris, Vicky Muma, Catlin Matalo. I don't think I can get to you all. Kay Kecker 74. Good morning. Hello from Canada. Florida. Hi from Florida. Hi, Shelley 61. Andrew Demores, Elizabeth Duperez, Catherine Edwards, Robin Perico. Oh, I don't think I can get to all of you. I really don't. So, yeah. Bear with me. 4 minutes before the boys get on. Okay. But thank you for going over to Michael Jaco's site and showing that I have 30,000 more views than my former protege. The numbers speak it all. And I'm not trying to be cocky. I'm just stating a fact. And yes, I have to say that the person that predicted, he's usually 90% wrong, that the CCP was already cleaned up is wrong again. Sorry, I don't know. I don't understand how people can follow others when they keep on being wrong. That means you're brainwashed, okay? And yeah, you're brainwashed. If you keep on following someone and they said the CCP's cleaned up and it's not, and other things, and I never stop doing other people's show. Hello, the main man's here, Michael Jaco. How are you?
Good. How are you doing, Kirsten?
Yeah, we have a lot of Chinese intel for you. Lots and lots and lots and lots. And we have landmines found on the beach in Fort Lauderdale. There's going to be a string of them because they're trying to create some news out of there. And, you know, as you know, they're getting broke. Broke. I kind of covered this with Scott earlier. We're live already, so might as well start. I covered this with Scott earlier. Scott is the one that gave us the intel about Ever Given, right? Ever Given. Yes. Right. The 1,366 deceased and the 1,245 alive. We are now finding out from my intel, I've got like 5 of them, that they're trying to collect insurance on that ship because they're broke. They are broke. Also, we have England, the Prince Philip died, and he was one of the deep state that was trying to do the economic reset, right? 4 things.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
4 things.
So a landmine came up on Fort Lauderdale Beach. You know, they've been going up and down the coast with, surveillance aircraft from the military looking in there. There's been speculation that the Chinese had a submarine off the coast there. So have you heard anything about that? 2 of them.
2.
Wow.
2. Okay. Yeah, and they're trying to get at Trump and someone, as I mentioned earlier, whose channel I stopped doing every Friday. People will know I quit. I wasn't fired. I quit because the intel was just off. I love the man. He's a sweet man, but wrong intel. Use my intel, say the CCP was cleaned up. The CCP is not cleaned up. And we'll get into how they're going to enter Taiwan and why they're entering Taiwan very soon. So, and the United States troops are in Taiwan right now. So what's happening is the Chinese subs are off the coast, as and as Monkeyworks knows. They're off the coast. Right. They're trying to get us at Trump. They're putting all these landmines laid it out for. They're going to do something. As you know, whenever an event happens, like Parkland shooting, just use that example, the survivors do not get the cash. When that certain party that runs Broward County, is the one that gets the cash. So the $6 million that they're very short of funds went to them after that incident. There we go. Here's my partner, Scott, who's going to go. Let me do it this way. This is better. Okay, it's a bromance, and Scott really adored him.
There's my man.
A bromance.
Yeah. We got a chick in here today, Kirsten. We got a chick in here. It's a tromance. How about that?
Okay, I have to.
I've never heard that one before. Good.
I have to brag that I got 30,000 more views on Michael Jaco's channel than someone we know, and we don't have to mention her, but you know what I'm talking about.
Anytime I need to build a channel, I just keep calling Mike up until he brings me on his show. I'm like, I'll get all my people back.
Wow, you had more hits than 107.
Yeah.
Wow. How about that?
Yeah. But that was when I had my early on the channel. So I think as time goes on, I get more subscribers back again. Then those numbers will keep going up. So yeah.
How long have you been down on that, Mike?
So I had like over 200,000. I got like a little over 60 now. So they're coming back pretty quick. So it's good.
That's amazing that they even allowed you to get to 200. I mean, that's surprising.
I'm surprised too, because they were like hammering me I saw it coming, so I created my other channel, and it was a wise move. I learned from you, so I saw you doing all your channels. I'm like, that's brilliant. I got to do that too. I better do that. So fortunately, I did.
The only problem is I forget which channel like I'm supposed to go on. I put out the wrong channel once. Like, hey, where the hell are you? I'm like, oh boy.
Yep.
Well, I think, Mike, for your channel, I think you have a lot more subscribers that are just, watching, but they're not subscribed because, with me, they do the same thing. The only subscribers that are subscribed, because Scott has them up there, are Scott McKay's. They're like, boom, they'll subscribe right away because he has them trained. Mine are like, okay,
well, where's it going to be next time? Do I subscribe here or the next channel? Yeah, that's probably what's going on, because I got more views than I have subscribers by far, and I know we all know that our channels are like getting taken, and I'm not monetized. I never have been, but people are monetizing my work, and I don't care. It just gets out there. So, I see maybe 100,000 on a view, and there's probably triple that out there, spread out over the YouTube channel networks.
I can assure you, it's a lot more than you imagine. When I was getting some of this information from this, I call them the Overwatch, this bloodline group. They've been keeping an eye on me for a while, and I started basically in the initial opening conversation was, we're this, and this, and this. I'm like, what? Wow, what is this? It's encrypted, military encrypted email. I get my Proton mail now, but and the third thing they said, can prove we can trust you. I'm like, trust who? Fork you? Who are you? How can I trust you? That kind of thing, right? But they eventually told me probably about a month ago and they were giving me some information. Said, look, you now have 20+ million followers and it's climbing. And now and then they said, so here's what now, and I'm going to tell you this for a specific reason, not directed to me, but how do they know that? They're watching that, but they said you need to do this, and this, to help fight this battle. And so that tells you that when these people are grabbing our stuff, like you said, you got other channels that have 100,000 views on your videos. I have one channel that even the same day, this guy will have, like, if I have 100,000 views, he'll have 105 on his channel. So these people are grabbing this stuff. And that's why I said early on, look, I can't get money out of YouTube, nor can you. I said, you guys out there can get money out of these scumbags. Get it. Just pump the information out. And it's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Good.
Yeah. Definitely. That's the bottom line is, they can take us down. They can't kill a message because too many people are grabbing it. Why?
Oh, yeah.
It's money. Your money, Mike. Your money.
Exactly. I had a 107 video that was, deleted, and I got a strike for it. And I saw it all over the place in YouTube. And they didn't get strikes. So it's like, wow. Yeah.
I think the white hats are running YouTube, and they know this. So they jack us up because they know the viewers are going to get pissed and say, fork that. We're going to go find them somewhere. And they just pump that stuff out. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Talking about the white hats, we have the 4th in 2 weeks going blackouts. North Sweden, parts of Germany, parts of Europe, and now they're going for the Middle East. So they're doing their blackout reset. And let me read something for you, because I'm going to try not to talk too much, because Scott's people were really angry at me because I wouldn't let him talk last time. But that was because Scott's on automatic pilot on Sundays. He does so many shows that I let him just, relax. Okay,
Sleep.
Here we go. The alliance was composed of President Trump, or is composed of President Trump, Russian President Vladimir Putin, Chinese President Xi Jinping, Iraqi Prime Minister, as I mentioned, Xi Jinping is working with Trump and Taiwan, Iraqi Prime Minister Mustafa al-Kazim, India President Narendra Modi, White Hats in the Department of Defense, headed by Secretary of Defense Chris Miller, Undersecretary of Defense Intel Ezra Cohen-Watnick, who is the leader of the CUE group, and General Michael Flynn, whose brother is in charge of the Pacific Fleet, Charlie Flynn, around comprised around 800 special ops who advised President Trump, including Pentagon generals, Joint Chief Mark Milley, Vice Chief John Hyten, General James McCormick, Adam Michael Glade, General C.Q. Brown, General Paul Nakasone, and General J. Raymond. And the NSA, which is the opposite of the CIA, that's corrupt, and various militaries around the globe in the SOF units, including the international force authorized to make arrests in any country, Interpol, plus U.S. Marines, National Guard, and special op units. Okay, there we go. That was a mouthful.
Nice. Very nice.
And I have to thank my Major General Moore that confirmed the arrest of all the arrests last year. I have that on paper if you guys want to see it. All his credentials, Major General Moore, and he confirmed the arrest of Comey, the arrest of Lisa Page, who slept with Comey, McCabe, and Strzok, and is the niece of John Brennan.
Wow.
And
I saw you share that, and I got it from other people too. So I mean, they're not around anymore. Remember how vocal they were for a while, and then they just went quiet. So they've been quiet a long time. Yeah,
definitely. And so that we were talking about something before Mike. Before Scott came on about the mines in Florida, the landmines in Florida found on the beaches, big landmines, and I even have a picture of one of them that was found in what was that? That was found in Fort Lauderdale. They're planning some kind of event, as you know, they are, and it's all centered around President Trump, because he's on that coast. I'm on the other side, thank God. But
Well, it'll be interesting to see what kind they are. If they're ours, then it's probably part of training. And if it's or they're putting them out there because there's reports of Chinese subs out there. Could be for those subs. So if they're Chinese mines, that's pretty much an act of war there. So
yeah, well, China is getting ready to enter Taiwan, as you know. So, I mean, that's what's going to happen. From my intel from a while ago, that was on Scott's thing. But the U.S. Army, the military is there right now in Taiwan, just so FYI. Yeah. So let me.
If they have a strong enough force out there, because I used to, when I was in Guam, we used to get spun up all the time and head out to Japan and Okinawa and stuff like that to get ready to go to Taiwan if we needed to. But it was always just a show of force. Once we had that show of force, the Chinese always settled down. So that could be all we need to do, just have a good show of force there, and they're not going to play their games. And it could be just posturing, trying to intimidate us, trying to intimidate the Taiwanese, which they've done, for decades and decades now. So
I'm going to show you what the mine, and you can tell us what kind of mine that is that was found. And this was on CNN. Do you see it? Right there. It's gray.
Yeah, it looks different than the one I saw that was washed up on the beach. Different one than that. In fact, it looked like it was pretty rough.
Inerts on it. So that means it's not, it looks like a training mine.
Inert. Oh, yeah.
Must be. Inert means it's not live. So probably a training mine, like I said. So I was involved in mine demining myself at one point. I'm not going to give away, how we did that, because it's still, classified information. So that's probably part of a training operation. Those mines sometimes get lost because they get covered up by sand, and then eventually they get uncovered and then wash up. So that happens. So that's probably all that is. Not anything to get spun up about, really.
Good to know. And then we have China is telling Taiwan if they, are going to be independent, they are going to enter. Okay. And this is what they're going after. This is what China's going after. It's the AI microchips, $2.2 trillion, which are the same microchips that they mine for Bitcoin. CCP wants full control of world data mining. It's a fortune and CPU monopoly tech control. What do you guys have to say about that?
Yeah, crypto's the future. How much of that crypto remains? Crypto right now, it's gonna continue to explode upwards. The same with the stock market. Stock market's going to take off. It's not going to crash yet. At some point, maybe. But if Trump comes back, it'll like blow up even more. So the crypto, at some point, there's going to be some cryptos that go forward. Just like, what we saw in the .com crash, way back when the stock market crashed with all those tech. If you had a .com, behind your name or whatever, or some kind of tech, it blew up, and a lot of those went away in that crash. Yeah. And the survivors, we're seeing the survivors now, Google and Microsoft, of course, and other names that are super big right now. I invested in Google when it first came out and made a ton of money, did options on it and crazy stuff like that when I was in option trading. But it's basically all you have to do is put your money on in almost any one of those right now, and you're going to look brilliant. But you should do a little bit of, because what I do is I cycle in and out of some of them, because some of them, they get talked up and they blow up, and that's time to pull away. And then the other ones that are getting ready to blow up, those are the ones you really want to dump some good money into.
Do you have some you can give us some names?
Recommendations? Yeah, I went with 80A. So all the ones that I went in that I recommended early on blew up, and I pulled out and went to other places. I got some in Digibyte. Now a lot of these I bought when they were well below 1 cent, way below.
Wow.
Like 0 something, and bought a lot of it, and then when it goes up to 10, 15 cents, that's a lot of money. So you can play that game. Like I said, almost any of them right now are gonna blow up. If you do just a little bit of research, there's a lot of people out there that are talking and talk really well about crypto. So just do a little research and get in there and get a little piece of that right now. Everyone should be doing crypto. And,
Roseanne,
point, just like the .com crash, there's going to be there will be a crash, but not yet. So now's the time to get in but be nimble. You can't just long-term invest in crypto right now. It's something that's each one of them will go big. And that's when you're like, well, is it time to get out? Maybe. So I called this I called this like a year and a half ago that this crypto was going to go. I called it back when it went to the moon. I said it's going to go low. You better get out. And you can follow this stuff, just a little bit of research. It's not that hard.
What about XRP, Mike? I hear people talking about XRP all the time. What is that? Some think that when this whole, the movement into this new complete quantum financial realm, U.S. dollar goes away, U.S. note comes on, gold back. People think there's going to be a couple of cryptos left that'll be, maybe that are the integration of the movement of this money digitally or gold money digitally. What do you think? Where does XRP fit in there?
A lot of people have talked it up. I'm not by any means an expert. I'm not an expert, and don't take my advice. Put that warning out right now. But XRP, from what I've heard, and I invested in XRP early on, and made nice profit off it. If you're still in XRP, you're looking good. You might want to keep it in there. Looks like it might take off a little bit here. It might not be too late to get in XRP, but that's up to you, to do that critical thinking on your own. But there's other ones out there that are it's like we talked about the .com boom. It's basically crypto's a .com boom right now, and it's all crypto's going big. So XRP has the potential, to be that one. From what I've heard, I've heard other experts that say that all crypto, and they're very, very knowledgeable, is that pretty much 99% of crypto is deep state. So deep state's in control right now. That's why crypto's going to the moon. And that's why, even though we're almost in depression era, problems in the US right now, as far as like unemployment and so forth, and businesses failing, still the stock market's going to the moon. That's all manipulation. That's deep state manipulation. I just saw where, the top corporation like Amazon and so, those knuckleheads, they made like $2 trillion, all those top guys during this lockdown. This is all about design. All of this is all about design. But there's, at one time I was like, I'm not gonna invest in the stock market anymore because it's all corrupt. Because I got tired of being burned. It should have gone logically a certain way, but it was manipulated. I'm like, I'm just sick of that. Now, being an intuitive, I'm like, play your games. I'm gonna be ahead of you. So that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna make my money while you guys make your money, and then at some point when you guys crash, I'm gonna put my money to work for good.
What so there, do you think, Mike, that there has to be some time where all these cryptos out there, with this new system, if they're actually, some people don't believe there is a quantum system. They don't, who knows? I guess none of us really know. None of us know the whole truth. Otherwise, we would never get there, because everybody, the bad guys know too. But it seems to me like logically, a lot of these simply have to go away. They got to settle on something that has a track or becomes a stable track for the flow of money digitally. I can't imagine. I've heard that 99% of these cryptos, once this all happens, are just going to disappear. Like,
I lost money on Bitcoin.
Is that what you see happening?
That's going to happen, and that's what all the really good guy experts say. Just like we have good guy health people that inform us well, we have a good, people that are informing us, but they're saying the same thing. It's don't miss out on this opportunity to make money, but be nimble, because just like we saw, with some of these cryptos that went to the moon last time crash, at some point they will crash again, but it'll some of them will go forward, because that's the future. It's just like .com stuff, back in 2001, when the market crashed. I lost a ton of money back then, and being in the military, Navy SEAL, that was hard, so all my investments, for years, but that's all manipulation. These guys manipulate, they blow these markets up, they make their money. They're like, oh, you got to get into this, and everybody gets into it, and it blows up, and then like pull their money out quietly, and then it collapses. So they play these games all the time. When you start to understand that, you start to see that, you're more nimble. Before I wasn't nimble enough, and I got burned quite a bit, and I got tired of it. So now I'm nimble. I'm watching, and I'm playing, and it's very profitable right now for me. So as far as profitability, I would say where a lot of people have been, getting crushed unfortunately getting crushed, and I have compassion for them over this last year and a half. I've made more money than ever. And that's because I'm intuitive now, and I come in and I look at stuff big picture. I don't look at like, this is the way it should work, and yeah, it should work that way. But when people are manipulating everything, it's not going to work that way. So when you see on a bigger picture intuitively, then you can make these moves and be very profitable. So
what about
being intuitive?
Yeah.
Kirsten, you had something you were going to ask when I was
well, I was going to say they're doing 4 things to our country that they're playing with. Number 1 is the gun grab. Number 2 is illegal surge. Number 3 is the crashing the economy that we're talking about right now. And to add on to that, I have to say that I have lost money through Bitcoin. So, but I have one stock that is a winner that was given to me by Trade Genius that I do a show with every month. And that's UUUU. That's uranium mining. It's been a winner, a huge winner. And the last thing that they do, the three, and then the last thing that they do is the Vax passport. So all those four, we have the gun grab, illegal surge, economic crash, and the last one is the Vax passport, which is not working out for everyone. So it's all good. But what were you saying, Scott? What was I going to ask about what?
That's what I think you were going to interject that. I wanted to make sure you had the opportunity. So what about silver, gold? I had a conversation with somebody yesterday. I'm going to have another conversation with this economist from the Trump administration that is in the gold and silver business, and where he's connected to the owner of the depository, that even government's storing this depository. I might fly out and actually see this depository with my own eyes, because if I'm going to buy any silver or gold, I want to make sure I'm like, it's not paper, it's like real. Here it is.
Oh yeah.
So see, from my point of view, because I don't stay up on all this stuff, it's like I'm thinking, man, Mike, how do you find the time to even monitor what's going on with those investments? I'm thinking, okay, if I had anything to buy for me, I'd be like, I'm looking at wealth preservation, to preserve the capital, dump that into something, and to make sure that if everything goes to shit, because we just, at the end of the day, we've been surprised before, and I don't have I haven't spent any time to gain the knowledge on crypto or anything to that nature. So I'm thinking, well, I would definitely just want to make sure if the cards fell, that I'm sitting on something that, that has some long-term value, at least still there. Unless I had, I do have some XRP, Ron handles that stuff for me because that's his wheelhouse. I'm like, okay, you take a few bucks of mine here, put an XRP and see what comes out of it. But I couldn't pretend to even know. So, and I'd like to take the time. I just simply don't pull the time away for it. So I'm wondering where does gold, silver fit in right now? I mean, is it something that's valuable to buy? I mean, I think you said you did, Michael.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I've been investing since I was I would say 9 years old. So it's a long time. So I watch markets, and it's just always fascinated me. And I've done well. I've done well with coin, extremely well with silver and gold. I called it early. When gold was like, I think 250 at one point, way back. I was telling all my buddies, "Hey, get into gold, and then went to the moon, and I got out when it hit that peak. Circumstances were that I needed the money. I was like, time to sell. My silver and gold were sold, and at the peak, So now I've been buying it very heavily again, more heavily than I have at any time in my life, because I'm seeing it's going to go to the moon. Now it's still it's like we talk about,
suppressed,
suppressed, extremely suppressed. It's been suppressed for a long time. When Nixon came off the gold standard, it was suppressed. So it's something has the potential, which I believe is going to go to an unbelievable level. So don't invest in anything you can't afford to lose. Don't bet the house on it. Don't bet your retirement on it or anything like that. But if you have money, to put into these things like crypto, the stock market, I like the NASDAQ, and also gold and silver. If you can spread your money around, you should always spread your money around like that. Then, and all of those have done extremely well for me. So I just look at, I tell everyone that will listen, buy a little gold, buy a little silver. I mean, if you can't afford gold, silver is still, reasonable. Buy a few ounces here, buy a few ounces there. But do it, dollar cost average into it. Every time you get a little money, hopefully every, few weeks or a month, you're putting money into silver at the minimum. But silver has the potential of going the highest, for, exchange. You buy 100 ounces of silver, buy some 100 ounces of gold, you're going to be better off in the long term with the 100 ounces of silver, as far as like dollar cost average, how much is going to, return on it percentage wise.
I love American Eagle coins. That's what I usually buy. They're easy to get rid of. And yeah, it's great. I have this to add about the finances. We have Forbes got 500 billion in PPP funds. As you know, they're giving all this money out to help the small businesses, and all the big businesses are getting it. We have De Niro's, what is it, that Japanese food chain? What was that called? Nobu getting millions of dollars when he's worth 500 million. Now they have to pay back $500 billion to PPP. Okay. And all they do is, this money's not backed by anything. It's just stamped cash. It's really worthless. We have the Vatican that's broke, and we have something that Scott reported. Remember, Scott reported about Ever Given? How many people died? Do you remember the numbers on that?
Yeah, I was actually just scrolling through that emails here, looking for that. I don't know if you heard any of this, Mike, but they had these guys are they're of this bloodline group. They're operators in the world you operated in, so they're still connected. And I get some pretty. This is way too long to read. This is probably one of the biggest drops. It was very detailed, right down to. The Khazarian controlled cargoes that were in transit. One of the things they talked about, like 13 DOAs were like 1366 and AOAs were like 14 something. So the point they were making was that just like human cargo, if they can stop the movement of that cargo and it gets into the other ports, beyond the time that it's supposed to, then they can expire. The cargo, can expire. And vaccines that were on there were no different, because if they hold those up, then they basically come into whatever port, hitting their expiration date, which makes them no good. So it's kind of a multi-phase operation. And then, of course, we know that, and the technology that I got a document on to try to read the technology they're using from Space Force to identify that weapon that was on there. Apparently there were weapons headed for 100 different ports that were going to be used to take down the Five Eyes nations and a Chinese invasion of the Five Eyes nations, like from what it says. But apparently the vaccines expired, because I think those have to be stored like below zero or something like that. But they were talking, or I was shown the Space Force technology itself on how it's like reading a thesis on particle physics. You're like, is this Chinese or Latin or what is this? I read it and I could grab, like, there were some things in there I could understand, like the and stuff like that, but it was pretty tough. I thought.
You did say that the Space Force blocked the signal from the nuke deploying from Patterson. Is it Patterson base? And that was in Ohio, actually. That wasn't in Colorado. That's what I have. And now they're trying to get insurance on all of that stuff that was lost, and they're not getting it. They're broke. I'm telling you, they're broke. Like I said with Mike earlier, they got the insurance. The county of Broward got the insurance on the shooting, the Parkland shooting, $6 million, because they were getting broke. This time, they're not getting the insurance money, and they're really going broke. I mean, that's what the finances are of the elites right now. They're really, really losing everything. And once the Starlink is complete, they have how many? 1,300 or so Starlink satellites up. Once they reach the 2,000, then everything's going to go on. That would be the blackout. Then we'll get to view what's going on really from the Starlink. That would be, Mr. Elon Musk. Thank you very much. Anyway, let's get into this. I want to play this for you. And
let me talk about Scott's stuff real quick. So okay. Scott, with my my remote viewing and stuff like that, I was calling it early that they needed to get in there because people were expiring on the while it was stranded like that, because they couldn't get out and service them and stuff, because they would have everyone would have seen it. So that doesn't surprise me. That many people unfortunately didn't survive. Now I have other people. Now if you look at my background, SEAL Team 6, CIA, and then, you know, my intuitive abilities and stuff like that, I see stuff on a different level. Now, if you're like a junior special forces guy and you're informing other people about stuff, like looking at me and going, yeah, he doesn't know what he's talking about. That's like you're like Sandlot, you know, football, telling a Super Bowl quarterback that he's stupid, you know. So some people are getting informed and talking out there from, you know, lower level, you know, SEALs and special forces people like that. They just don't have the background to give any information. Yeah, they're not being involved in it because they only pick the top guys to be involved in stuff like this. This stuff goes on all the time where top guys get involved and do things that no one ever hears about. So we're getting little pieces of this come through. So don't shoot the messengers. You know, we're trying to inform people. Mm-hmm. If you're hearing from other people that are fairly well connected, but they're hearing from lower level people, maybe, I don't know. That's kind of what I'm getting. Just keep your eyes open. Just be open. You know, we're not the end all to all this information. You know, and maybe some of it we have wrong, but when it ties into the things that are going on right now, it's like, wow, there might be something to this. So just, you know, just stay open. Don't get stuck on something. Don't get stuck on stupid, like I say, and you know, be aware that there's a lot of things going on in the world right now that are going to be revealed that are going to blow everybody's socks off. I've been exposed to this stuff. Scott's been exposed. All of us have been exposed to this stuff. You know, and we're trying to baby feed some of you, and some of you are very, very informed, especially this crowd, Scott's crowd, Kirsten's crowd, my crowd that's probably in here too, are very well informed. But it starts to filter out. I know you guys share this stuff, and some people are like, my buddy in SEAL teams or my buddy in special forces said that's bullshit. You know, they would never do that. And I don't know of anybody doing those missions. Well, because they're not at the high levels, you know. So,
you know, the thing, you're right about that. You have to look at it as information. And I know this because here's one thing that we shared with me, that there is a false narrative. And they walk through the false narrative with me. Or when I say they, I'll just say he. I just call him Overwatch because obviously, I'm just trying to do the right thing. But they walk through this real short narrative of misinformation that they're putting out there for a certain reason. And then they came back and said, like I have one here. This is one that said just days thereafter. I need to create a hard copy of this folder, BSM Operation Evergreen. BSM stands for Bernard Schulte Ship Management. That's the management company that manages this ship. And now we know that, and I haven't had time to dig on this, but I was told to focus on BSM. Focus, pay attention, don't let this go. Watch what happens. In the interim, from this point is that I can't mention the names, but the managing director of this company is CCP, is connected to Bill Gates, is connected to Branson and Jeffrey Epstein. Right now, you put these little pieces together, say, "Whoa, okay, is there something bigger than just the trafficking, the sex trafficking, SRA, whatever that is?" Mm-hmm. That's one thing, and there was something else in here. Oh. So the director, the managing director of the ship management company has attended Wuhan University of Technology, graduating with a diploma in marine engineering. And it says amongst many other study degrees in the UK under the Pilgrim Society, which is the Khazarian mafia. All those within the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers have maritime law degrees, which is quite interesting that all of these people, the top Khazarian elite bankers, Rothschilds, Rockefellers, all have degrees in maritime law. Why? That's how they hamstring us in this country. Right. And we can't get any justice here. It says, hence it pays to know your enemies and who you're dealing with. It says there are no coincidences with this particular individual, and that's this managing director of the ship company or the management company that manages Evergreen, and they're in. So this is a big company that operates worldwide. They're directly involved in the facilitation of human trafficking. And it says here, no matter what you hear, and they accentuate some words with all caps, no matter what you hear from anyone else, including stupid websites claiming to be fact checkers and the like this is what's happening. And it says this email alone should be proof enough on those directly involved and how embedded they all are with one another. Just their LinkedIn profiles alone sends flags once you see who they're connected to and follow across this media platform. They are all sworn members of the Pilgrim Society, aka Khazarian Mafia. So, so what I found interesting about that is that number one, we know the surface information, true or not, trafficking, weapons, whatever, we believe that. But like you said, we just put the information out there, and you and I had this recent beta that jumped up with some silliness, and we say this all the time. Hey, this is what I'm being told. Can I verify this? Absolutely not. Can I validate it? No. If I climb through all this stuff that comes to me, and I guarantee you they're watching this right now, because every show I'm like, oh geez, is there anything that I'm doing anywhere they're not watching? Because then they'll come back and refer back to something else and refer to somebody, and then they'll give me this information, and they'll show, go back to your email, check this, what we sent you, look at the dates, look this, look at that. How do you think we knew ahead of time? Here's the publications in the world that it was in. And they lay this out like to constantly show me, do your homework. This isn't bullshit. How do you think we know this stuff, and feed it out there at certain times? I still don't have the time to go through all of it to say, oh, yes, 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 yes. But it's not blind faith that I'm taking when this stuff comes at me. It just takes a more time-focused commitment to climb through all this and say, you know what, here it is, here's a proof. But on the surface, when I look at it, I'm like, first of all, this is logical. It makes sense. Do a little research. Boom, the pieces fit. The puzzle pieces fit. So most of what I'm hearing from everybody else out there, like in something like Evergreen, they're pretty close. I mean, I don't see anything outlandish out there like, that's bullshit. It all looks, to me, that it's all in this minute details that may not apply, but for the overall big picture, it all pieces together from what I'm getting.
Yeah. And like you said, they're all into maritime law. We're going to find out, I think, very soon that all of the law that we have been running on is all fake. And that we're gonna be pretty pissed about that, because we've been controlled by law for a long time. You had an excellent guest on, was talking about law, land, air, and water.
You see that guy?
Oh my God, that guy was. And so we're all gonna find. I've known this Russell J. Gould, been following him for a long time. So there's a lot of information we're gonna find out very soon that is gonna blow everybody's socks off on that, and just the justice. Because the justice is all corrupt. It's all maritime law, and it's made for them against us. So it's gonna be crazy, some of the stuff we find out.
Russell,
we have Jocelyn Benson, the AG of Michigan, who got a scholarship from the Pilgrim Society. So just FYI.
You know what? I think when we get a chance to see like a visual schematic of all like the main characters, there's so many of them, there's thousands, but the main characters, and we see how the lines are all drawn, who they're tied to, what institutions, what academic institutions and all that. We're just going to be sitting here like, how could we not see this? Like, how could we not see this?
Yeah. But once it's pointed out, it's like, oh, it's so obvious. Then it's obvious.
Yeah. It's amazing. They become so great at hiding everything in plain sight. I mean, look at for example, the things that grabbed me the most were Disney films. When you started to see the phallic symbols that they have in Disney films, the pedophilia, all this shit. When you're looking at it, you're like, man, I loved that when I was a kid. And you're looking at it, you're like, holy Mary, Mother of God. Like, no shit. It's right in front of us. It's right in front of us.
Walt Disney was a pedo, as you know.
Yeah, yeah. So Russell J. Gould, people have been asking me, like, I see the threads sometimes on the shows. You can't get to them, but everybody wants. And I've done probably 2 radio shows, 2-hour radio shows last summer on Russell J. Gould and capturing the Title IV flag. And so, folks, when you want me to go talk about it, go back. It's there. It's archived. Go through the whole thing. But where do you see, have you guys heard anything about, like, what I do know is that basically when he went through the process to save our asses from reverting back to the subjectiveness of the British crown, that he's like, okay, now we captured a Title IV flag. What do I do now? And it was the U.S. Navy was the first organization to sign on with Russell J. Gould, from what I understand, which makes kind of sense given what we see with Admiral Rogers and everything that came out, the NSA, the evolution of NSA in 2015. But where you brought him up, I'm kind of curious why you brought up Russell J. Gould. Where do you see that? Where's that fit in your wheelhouse?
So just like you're mentioning, he captured the flag and the post office, Postmaster General. He says he owns both of those. They beat him for it, all kind of crazy stuff. His partner basically, gave in and gave up information to the. Did he
really?
That's what he said. He's saying, I just saw just recently, April 9th, where he came out and he was talking about sinking, shipping, war, and rise of the sovereignty. So, he's been on this for a long time. He's been talking this information, quantum, law and stuff like that. I've seen some people that take on this quantum law. Like there's one business here in California that is a restaurant and took the quantum law and put it in their when they dealt with the health department trying to shut them down, they used quantum law and they couldn't shut them down. And no mask. In fact, they say no mask allowed in the restaurant, and it's in their face. So if you learn the quantum law, like he talks about, then you can overcome a lot of this rogue maritime law system that's basically trying to entrap us and keep us locked down. So yeah, I mean, he talks about how when we're born, your birth certificate is all in caps. It just lines it all up, and you're like, wow, they put caps on your tombstone, because they own us. They feel like they own us. When you start to look at it like that, you're like, well, that's why they do the things they do to us. That's why they have the top 1%, I guess, the reptilians, the Draco, and so anyway, these and their bloodlines, and they feel that we're beneath them, that we're like cattle, just like, unfortunately, I look at the cattle out there eating the grass. I'm like, I'm probably going to eat you. You're very sweet and very nice, but and that's the way they look at us. They're going to do whatever they want with it because we're cattle to them.
Yeah, the mere thought of that a number of times makes me say, should I go vegan? I know, right? Me too.
I'm vegan.
My body, I'm like a weightlifter. My body just doesn't work. And I know there are weightlifters out there that do it. And I don't eat that much meat like I used to. It used to be like 3 meals a day is meat. Now it's like 1 meal a day. And sometimes, I skip. So, I have other ways to get that protein in there. So
you go in the right direction.
I have a little hint from the Playboy Playmates. Don't eat meat because we're vegan, so we don't have any cellulite. There you go. Because you have to go nude. You don't want any cellulite, so don't eat meat. Let's get into the Hunter Biden laptop. I'm sure you guys want to do this juicy thing. And here he admits that it might have been his laptop.
Was that your laptop?
For real, I don't know.
I know, but
I really don't know.
Okay.
The answer is.
You don't know yes or no if the laptop
I don't have any
yours.
idea. I have no idea.
So could have been yours.
Terrible AI.
There could be a laptop out there that was stolen from me. There could be that it was hacked.
Terrible AI.
No doubt.
That it was Russian intelligence.
Yeah, Russian again.
That it was stolen from me.
Yeah. There you go. He finally admits it could be his, right? It could be, but it's Russian intelligence. So it could be. Who knows? Let me give you more. It gets juicy. Oh, of course, he slept with his sister-in-law. I guess it's really interesting that you can even get excited with your sister-in-law, your brother's dead widow. It's really great. That family is
and the niece, I think, too. The niece was in the mix there, right? The 14.
Oh my God, it's just unreal. That family's unreal. But here we have a a little story. And as you know, I love the Chinese intel because it's a twofer. Just remember when I say twofer, okay, you're getting more bang for the buck, okay? So we have this Chinese actress who was in Milan. The main character, Mulan, Liu Yifei, and Yi means billion, which means she makes about $1 billion or 1 billion yuan a year from all these Chinese politicians. Fei means fly. So the money is flying in for her. So when I say a twofer, I mean she's an actress for the camera, but then she's an actress for the CCP at the same time. Was found, the main character, Mulan, Liu Yifei, was found in sex tapes with Hunter Biden, providing sexual services for him, as well as lighting up the crack pipe in Hunter's mouth. Yes, she is something else. Liu Yifei, Crystal Liu, the scandalous actress, has been given different names, and because Yi sounds like billion and Fei means flying, of course. So the money's flying into her pocket. As you know, with Fan Bingbing, who had to go to a re-education camp because she tried to keep some of the extra cash she was making from all the Chinese generals, arranging with the billionaires. As you know, Hunter Biden linked up with the owner of the gas and light company, Mr. Yi Jiang, and he was, taken out. Why did Hunter Biden and Joe Biden get 3.5 billion, not million, from the CCP? Because they own much of Ukraine. Those three things: the gas and oil, the plane manufacturing, the IT. They're paying them through Ukraine also. And of course, if a billionaire like a Mr. Yi Jiang gets taken out, they take Biden helped them take allegedly helps them take all of his holdings in the U.S. and they separate it out like they do in the mafia. So yes, the Chinese actresses, allegedly, most of them are whores, and they make more money from the whoring than they do from the acting. How's that? There you go. And yeah, she was.
They're all whores. That's they're all whores.
I can say that and not be racist because I'm Chinese. Okay, it's a twofer. You're acting for the CCP and you're acting in the movie at the same time, so it's all good. And you saw her giving him the foot job. You also saw a picture of Malia. Malia's butt in the air with the cocaine and this stuff is just unreal what they do. It's like it boggles my mind that he's gotten away with all of this stuff. It's just coming out like unreal.
If I'd have known all this fun went on earlier, I might have stayed on that political track a little longer.
Yeah.
It's like so much money, just it's insane. And then that's what they do for fun. That's what they do for fun. And he can.
Well, that was interesting. He was part of the light, electrical or something, because most of the transducers, whatever, on telephone poles are all Chinese made, pretty much all over the U.S.
Oh, yeah.
So that's they get those deals. They get in those politicians' back pockets, and they start throwing the money at them, and they're like, okay, yeah, you got that contract, you got the U.S. It's all yours.
So they're basically wiring the whole country to spy on us from that technology, basically.
Exactly. Right? Yep. That as well. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the ones that were made by that company. Was it Huihua? Is it Huihua? Yeah, it's Huihua. That means, you know what that means? Huihua. Wei means scent, and Hua means flower. Basically, the scent of a deadly flower. And
wow.
And as you know, from my Chinese intel in Beijing, that the number that died in China, a lot of them were from those cell towers too, that took out your oxygen in your lungs. The number was about 700,000 allegedly. So almost 1 million. So yeah, so that's the real number. I am just saying that allegedly just to, yeah.
107 has said that the Chinese, you know, they target people. You know, they do the organ harvesting.
Yeah.
If there's someone that matches organs, they'll like pull up in a van and like throw them in and they disappear them. Have you heard anything about that?
Well, they take most of the organ harvestings from the Uyghurs in the concentration camp. As I said, the same general that owns the concentration camp also owns the 130,000 acres in West Texas and the land in Mexico also. Wow. That's one of the main ones that President Xi is trying to take out.
Nice.
That general specifically, okay, that one is
good.
Way out, okay, way off. So this is the fun part of the show where, you know, I like to expose all the Chinese intel, which, as you know, that's what someone's got to do it, right? Why not the Chinese girl? No problem.
That's the Chinese girl, you know.
Yeah, there we go. And for my stalker, who you know who you are, the Puerto Rican person that's stalking me and sending emails to Amanda Grace saying that I am not a very nice girl because I'm linked to Playboy. Excuse me, but Donald Trump Jr. was married to a Playmate and had 4 children from him. So if the Republican Party, which I'm not part of anymore, is going to oust me because I'm linked to them, let me just give them some information so they can really oust me. Here we go. On me. I'm going to expose myself. Okay, here we go. Shall we just look at the pictures with the Playmates of the year? It's scandalous. And here we go. Well, here we have me on that. We have me here. Here's one picture. Let's keep going. Let me oust myself. This is the fun part. This is me and this other Playmate. I'm Susie Simpson. I'm going to keep going, okay? Here's me, Ava Fabian, Luann Lee, Playmate, all Playmates, Carrie Stevens, all doing an ad. Yes, I am a very bad girl. That's my centerfold wine line that did very, very well. Actually outsold all the others, okay? That's me and Mr. Cosby, who was a great friend. That's me and, sorry. That's me and the dogs. I'm sorry, we missed some stuff here. This is me and the Miss Teen Hawaii USA. She became Miss Hawaii USA, and Emma Wo. So yes, I have done a lot of bad things. Okay, I have just done a lot of that. That's my book that was signed by Hugh Hefner, who was CIA. He had videos and video cameras in every room. So I'm happy to expose myself, everyone. It's all good. I don't care. I have no problem with doing it. Let me keep going. Here we go. Here we have this. We have Playmate of the Year, Julie Cialini, me in the middle, and Donna Perry. Let me keep going. Here is Susie Simpson, Julie Cialini, and I. I think you get the picture, everyone. This is Roberta Vasquez, Beth Richards, who was Charlie Sheen's girlfriend, and I could write a whole book on what he did, and me. Okay, so I'm a very, very, very bad girl. So really, yeah, I'm an embarrassment.
Exposing people, you're a bad girl, so we have to like make stuff up on you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just horrible. These are all my crimes that they want to dig out. That's me in Malibu. Yes, there you go. Yes, I am 5'8". There we go. And you can find my measurements wherever you want to look.
You better not put that picture up there again. I was going to reach into my camera here and slap that backyard. You need to stop doing that.
This is a farewell show for Scott, who's going to be at Tulsa, at the show in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I've been really giving Clay Clark a hard time that you should be talking.
Oh,
so that's just me because you know how I'm completely loyal to all my friends, and now that Mike's a good friend, I'm gonna have to support him too.
I'm a little on the
side. On a good note. So you're going to Steel. That's awesome.
Yeah, what's tomorrow at about noon because Gene Decodes wants to do. Gene Decotes wants to do a huge premiere on my channel, which I can't do live. He will be doing some big premiere of Intel at about 12 noon. I'll put it up on the backup channels after that. But anyone is welcome to jump on. If you guys want to jump on, you can. I know Scott's busy, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at my schedule again. I know I got some things right around there, but if I could find a way to jump on, I love listening to Gene. But yeah, so that tour, I had kind of backed myself, Mike, into a corner earlier in the year, and I said we're going to do a Patriot Street Fighter tour. And these people, it's like if you say something, it's golden. Like, when is it going to happen? They've been bugging me for months. Like, when's the tour? I'm like, oh, I got to do a tour now. So I was like, all right. And I talked to RDS, and I said, look, he asked me about coming on that, and I said, you know what, I've got to do this, obviously. I said, but I'll get my own bus, coach, and get all that stuff taken care of, just kind of set sail in tow with those guys. I'll break away from it from time to time because I got other speaking engagements I got to fly to away from that. But I think it's gonna be a lot of fun to get out there and actually see the people, and we'll see what happens. I know one thing, guys like you don't come cheap. That's what I'm learning, man. I'm talking to some of these guys, like a guy that just sort of became friends with. He does the training for all the security, the presidential security detail for the president of Israel. He's like one of your caliber. And so he was laying out, like, what's this going to take? And so he's laying it out. I'm like, look, I'm not a president. I'm just me. We're not going to need all this stuff, bulletproof SUVs and stuff like that.
Was that Gavin de Becker? Did you talk to Gavin de Becker?
No, I probably
Gavin de Becker does all the intel for everyone, including, it's my girlfriend's ex-boyfriend. I can get you a discount. He does the security for Mr. Amazon himself. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, and he's got a huge thing. So if you need protection, just tell me and I'll make a phone call. So there we go. But I want to thank you guys for coming on. Mike, you're amazing. You are on fire today. And Scott, farewell on your tour. It's not like I'm probably going to stop doing Sundays because I'm really burnt. But I'm happy to come on anytime anyone wants me to. And you guys are happy. Anytime you want to come on, please feel free. I'm very honored that you guys gave me part of your Sunday afternoon. And Scott, thank you for how many months of coming on and waking up every Sunday. I really do appreciate it. You're a really good friend.
Cutting into my Harley time. I should have been in the wind by now.
And then I dragged Mike along with it. So it's okay.
Oh, this is fun. Thank you.
Always fun. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate it. Well, have a good Sunday, everyone. Thank you for coming on. I hope it was an interesting show and it got juicy at the end. It's all good.
Oh, that's the best show yet. It's the best I've seen.
I know, right?
Why are we stopping now? What are we doing next Sunday? Yeah.
You're going to be in Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's where you're going to be. Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. All right. Take care,
all right, guys. You guys have a great day.
Right, you too. Thanks a lot, guys.
See you guys.
Thank you.
Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Love you guys. Bye.